USB.
I so appreciate your support.
I just love you, man, and I look forward to seeing you again. I'm not going to be a stranger.
Listen to his show. Absolutely, 95.5.
Tell me why, tell me why, tell me why. Why can't we live together?
Shelley Winter Show, live, local, topical, and relevant, my friends. What a show we have for you. Let's get right to it, my friends. Woo! So as you've been listening all evening long to the great 95.5 WSB Atlanta's News and Talk, Atlanta's News and Talk news reporters have been telling you all day. Thursday, we are airing the entirety of Donald Trump's, what he's calling Speech to the Nation, Thursday night around 9 o'clock. So my show is from 7 to 9. I will go till have my show from 7 to 9, and then we'll air the speech, and then I'll be on after the speech talking about it, breaking it down, talking about what he had to say. Hopefully we'll get some. We have reached out to several potential guests, so we'll see what happens. But I'll be on till 11 o'clock Thursday night after we air the speech. Let's talk about the speech. I'm going to tell you. So last night around 11 or 12, I'm watching the home run derby, or the end of it. Shout out to Jordan Walker. We'll talk about that later on tonight, and later on in the show, because we got to talk about that young man from Stone Mountain, went to Decatur High School, so he's in Atlanta, born and bred. But while I'm watching home run derby, I'm on social media and scrolling through, looking for what I'm going to talk about tonight. Last night, I'm always doing show prep, right? And I'm seeing pop up posts on Twitter and Facebook and on Instagram. Big news. Trump's going to release information about 2020. And it's going to be big news. And several of the posts that I saw, Warnock and Ossoff are illegitimate senators, and he's going to drop the news on Thursday. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, okay. So at first I didn't know we'd be covering it. Then I got the call. Then I got the call today. Hey, this is what we're going to be doing. And it's interesting. Let me quickly go off topic, same topic, but let me go off subject for 1 second. It's interesting to me. I love it, but it's interesting to me because they always, my program director always calls and says, hey, this is what we're going to do. Would you stay till 11? And I'm always thinking to myself, do you still have to ask me? Of course I'll stay after 11. I'd like to do a show 7 to 11 every night. But it's interesting that they ask, and I appreciate them asking, but that's neither here nor there. Let's get back to the topic at hand. So anyway, I'm seeing all these posts. And, Trump's going to do this, and yeah. But the interesting thing is, if you look at the people who are posting it, right? They're MAGA, they're pro-MAGA, and it looked coordinated because it was the same verbiage. So it looked kind of coordinated. But the interesting thing is, as you go and click on each post, whether it was X or Facebook or Instagram, the ratios were people basically saying in one way or another, one form or another, who cares? That's what the ratios were. Yes, of course, there are people like, yeah, finally we're going to get to the bottom of it. But the vast number of people, if you look at these posts, were saying things like, who cares? Let's move on. And that's what I want to talk about tonight. Let me say this to Republicans listening to me right now. And some of you are going to get very mad at me. But this is the truth. No one cares about 2020. Let me say it again. No one cares about 2020. Now, of course, you do. But there's a shrinking number of you-dos out there. Very much so. Understand this. If right now you're saying to yourself, oh, man, gas is $3.60. I still got to get food. Little Johnny's out of school, so he's eating more because it's summertime. And he's just ripping it. He's just eating everything that goes into the fridge even before it gets there. I got to find things for him to do. That costs money. Let's say you're a single mom. You share custody. There's gymnastics, there's dance, there's soccer, there's camp, there's food, there's sleepovers, there's uniforms. And this is summertime. And you got to keep them busy. You know what's going on in your household right now? You are not thinking about the 2020 elections whatsoever. And there's more of those people, married, single, whatever, than there are people running around screaming and yelling about the 2020 election. No one cares. And if the president and his team or people around the president are listening to me right now, take it from me, no one cares. You can come out and say Iran is trying to hack our elections. Russia's trying to hack our elections. China's trying to hack our elections. You could tell me whatever country's out there trying to hack our elections. No one cares. No, they don't. And you know why they don't care? Because you won in 2024. So for the people that would say, you know what, I kind of care about fair and safe elections, they're like, but why? You won. Well, what are you complaining about? Well, I want it to be safe for everybody. No, that's not true. That's what normal people say. You look at these elections, you've heard the stories, you've heard the numbers. So many people didn't turn out. I, for one, voted for Ossoff and Warnock. Take me off the table and look at the 500,000 that didn't show up. At the urging of Sidney Powell, the other guy, President Trump, and everybody else in Georgia. Doesn't make any sense. They're going to steal it anyway. That's what they'll say. And so nobody cares. It's 2026. And you won in 2024. And we have the House, the White House, we have the House, the White House, and the Senate. And here in Georgia, we got everything. We got all statewide seats, all of them, from top to bottom, every single one. There's not a Democrat to be found in the state of Georgia running anything. And you're going to do a speech in 2026 on Thursday night talking about stolen elections of 2020? And you think somebody who's struggling right now, who's working 3 or 4 jobs, who's doing Lyft, who's doing DoorDash, who's struggling to put food on the table, who's got kids, maybe 2 at home for the summer, eating everything in sight, needing to be entertained every single day while you work 2 or 3 jobs, you think that person sit around saying, yeah, we need to find out what happened 6 years ago. It's not happening. But you know what is happening? As Senator Ossoff said, and I agree with him. You know what is happening? Going out there and talk about the 2020 election on Thursday night. Make it a big part of your speech. And watch what happens. Democrats are going to be fired up even more than they are right now. It's going to happen. What? Oh, so you're saying we cheated to win? Okay, watch this. Then they're going to flood the polls. Remember, that's what we did. Flood the polls. Make it too hard to cheat. Well, that's what they're going to do. Okay. We cheated? All right, watch this. That's what they're going to do. Nobody cares. Yes, I know I'm not even going to say a bunch. I used to say a bunch. Now it's a dwindling number of people who care about the 2020 election. And I know the evidence is there. I've been told that since 2020. The evidence is there, Shelley. Then you come out with different things. They didn't sign off. All the different things. The fact of the matter is, nobody cares. When you're struggling to put food on your table, when you're using your credit cards to buy food, which millions of people are doing right now, when you're struggling, when you're working DoorDash, working Lyft, working Uber, going to your work 8 hours, picking up the kids, running them home, making food, and then hitting the streets to DoorDash and Uber and Lyft, when you're doing that, you don't care about the 2020 elections. If anything, you're looking at people sideways who's still talking about 2020. No party, no candidate, no voter looks backwards in order to move forward. It's a simple rule of life. It's a simple rule of life. No one looks backwards while they're trying to move forward. And when you're in an election and you're telling people what you're going to do for them, you're hard-pressed to say, hey, I'm going to do this for you. Oh, but don't forget they robbed you in 2020. You know why? Because no one cares. Well, of course, the people that do care are the people that fundraise over stolen elections. The Shelley Winter Show, 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. We will be right back.